other than the Chief Executive Officer of the state, the Executive Governor of River State, His Excellency, Chief Yusuf Wike. Your Excellency, good to see you again, sir.
Thank you very much, and welcome to Gomez.
Now, for days running to weeks now, Nigeria has been in the throes of a major national crisis. The NSAS protest launched by Nigerian youth as a coordinated attempt to bring to an end years of police brutality as witnessed by the activities of the now disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. That protest started peacefully, but along the line, hoodlums, miscreants, started infiltrating the ranks, setting their own different agenda from what the youth have set out to do. In major cities like Lagos and Abuja, we saw hoodlums completely hijacking the protests for some undefined reasons of their own. Most of the time launching attacks on the peaceful NSAS protesters. Now, of course, in Lagos, the issue got out of hand, which led to, witness attacks on police stations and police operatives and all of that. And then consequently, the state imposed a curfew. It was an attempt to enforce that curfew. The soldiers were deployed, and of course, soldiers, in the attempt to put down and dislodge the protester from the local Lekki, you know what happened, that has put Nigeria in the battle like that. And of course, thereafter, days of rage were what we saw across the federation: looting of government properties, looting of government warehouses, attack of private houses and investments and all of that. But well, we didn't see much of that violent attacks on government facilities in Rivers State. But something else, there's a new dimension to all of that in Rivers State, which is what we have seen played out in a particular local government of the state, the Oyibo local government in the state. His Excellency said, let's start from that. We didn't see, while some things were witnessing counter protests by some other youths opposed to the NSAS movement, leading to confrontation between the two groups and all of that. We didn't see all of that in Rivers State. Rather, we saw a peaceful NSAS protest. We saw people at different times addressing them. First, let's start from the how to manage that, and then what happened in Oyibo local government. Will it still be part of the NSAS movement or something that has been simmering for some time?
Well, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to let the public know the truth and not about the truth. Unfortunately, the media have not helped issues. The media are able to what Donald Trump said, kind of fake news, which is not good. As to the issue of SARS protests, we are aware that I did address my people, and I did say to them, we started this SARS issue in this country because of the way SARS was used by the government to make sure that people are killed during the elections and the rest of it. Like I said, because we always politicize the issue of security. When Rivers State raised the issue, so many people who are shouting today about the proscription of the buying of SARS felt we are only playing politics in the States. And I understood, and I spoke to them, understood. If the government then were not politicizing this issue, what happened to Lagos and other parts of the country would not have happened. The destruction, the amount of loss, the damage in Lagos and other parts of the country would not have happened. Why? Somebody from Rivers State, the minister, had always used SARS to cause mayhem in the state. And like I said before, because the government believed that I'm in no position. And when I raised that what the side was using, headed by the one I kept factoring in, that were in for doom. And therefore, there is a need to reform the size of boundary. The government, as it suits them, said it was politics. So, okay, no problem. Luckily for us, Nigerians came to be aware that look, the activity of science is unbecoming. And that was what ignited the protests all over the country, I mean, particularly in the southern Nigeria. And so, but whether we like it or not, see what has happened to the Moses. See what has happened to Lagos, which is unfortunate. But I have said, in our own country, because you're in opposition, or because you're not one of those governors who will anybody call them loyal. One thing in this country that you must be loyal. It is unnecessary. I wake up 6 a.m., I call authority, I'm loyal. I come out from office, I call authority, I'm loyal. That is the kind of thing we want. Those of us who will not say that will suffer for it. And what don't suffer, nobody wanted to listen to us when we cried against us. That's what it has happened. Yeah. You talked about the issue of the looting or the repercussions. First of all, we are very transparent and open. We never collected any palliative from government, from federal government. We never. And let it be on record. We never did that. The state government, through the support of 1 million Nigerians who contributed money in the fight against COVID-19, bought off food items because of the lockdown. We told the farmers, fishermen, whatever you have, we're going to buy everything from you. And we did. I don't know of any state. I don't know. I'm not saying there's none. But I don't know. You I didn't see. But I will say, the way the state government handled the issue of palliative by distributing it one to one, local government to local government. 3 times. We did that.
And even special interest.
We went, we gave to police, we went to hospitals, and everybody we gave to say, look, everybody is suffering this. So we will not discriminate against any particular interest. We did that. Now, again we came back. Now this businessman, they said, calculate. That put up money together to buy items to give to us. I resisted. I said, no, I'm not going to accept. You see, you should ask me, what do my people want? Not just saying you are bringing something. If what you may bring may not what my people want. So why don't ask me a question? Take for example, you want to bring Gary. Where are you buying the Gary from? If you're waiting for a job, why would I take Gary from a job? What I know is that rivers people are farmers who produce a lot of Gary. So why not come here and buy the Gary from them? That makes them happy. That empowers them. You are bringing fish. Which state will feed the state to as far as fishing is concerned? I don't know. Buy it from us. Empower them. They will be happy. You are not only feeding them. You are not only giving to support other people in the state. We are also empowering the farmers. I will remember very well one of my brother, the MD of Hassan Bank, came to me, came to the police. I said this. I said, my brother, where are you bringing this guy from? I will not take any guy from you. Nobody has better guy than we in rivers. Where from? People think that rivers is just water. It's not correct. It's not correct. In fact, more than 60% or something purely land. So you cannot say that we don't have farmers. So come and purchase this guy from them. Then I will take it. And it's okay, they are going to do that. Right? So immediately I said I was not going to take it. And I made it open to my people. Just for recent, the coordinator told me that look, they brought some bags of garri and the rest of it, sugar and the rest of it. I said, what is that? It's okay. Keep it. We have ordered 45,000 bags of rice. We'll add it together. By December, which is the festive period, we have to give out this. So we handle our own. What is important is communication. When you communicate to your people and let them know what is happening, then they will be part of it. But when you don't tell them, then it becomes as if there's something hidden somewhere, or there's an ulterior motive, which may not be. And so that will result to, or that will have led to what has happened in some of the states where people were now able to, and even vandalizing. Now, you ask yourself a question. Why are they vandalizing property of government and individuals? Maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe that's a reaction to the government that we're not happy with you. It may be possible, it may not be possible, it may not be possible. But I think maybe.
Because even in states where they don't have palliatives stored in warehouses, we still saw the people vent their anger on government facilities.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
So
what I'm
we
saying.
didn't see that.
Because the government is not communicating. Probably, the government may not be communicating with the citizens. You see?
Or there's a disconnect.
Of course, if you're not communicating, then there's a disconnection. And again, there's nothing wrong in you telling your people. It may be very hard, but tell them the simple truth. And when you tell them the truth, they realize that it's not. Like the lady insensitive, I told them openly. I saw a lot of insults on me on social media, and I said that we have no protest. I didn't tell them, people don't understand our strategy. We got intelligence that the protest will be very bad. It's okay. What we can do, announce very late that no more protest. That puts some people away. So few people came out. You have succeeded in making sure that there was no, those hoodlums who may want to take that opportunity to destroy or ventilate one or two and or whatever, you know. So when they came, people called me, I must address them. I said, don't need to worry. I said, I guess there's no problem. I went there. And I went there to the people. And it's not that I'm against ELSAs or whatever, but my anger is, why is it that when something happens to River State, nobody takes any interest, nobody cares, and when it has happened to another state, you want me to come out? That is my own position. And they understood it. How many people have we not lost in this state, in the hands of SARS? SARS have killed our people so many times. The former commander Yaki Fakode killed as many as he wanted to kill. And the clear parent indicted him and his personnel. What was the outcome? He was promoted. No problem. That is what you see in Nigeria. Which court? Which court? You know, I just laugh. I saw some postings. People said that the people, somebody went to court against the killing of Dr. Ferrer from Ugorila. And of course, look, in other cases, do you go to, is this someone that will go to court? One of the cases I said matter. Was it charged for murder? So those things I don't want to talk about it. But that is the situation. We find ourselves in the country, and we have to accept that. Now, going to the issue of Igbo, it's very unfortunate. I've done my researches. One country I've known that forgets so easily is Nigeria. Nigeria, we forget so easily. And I don't understand that. You know that this is not the first time. What has happened to Igbo? IPOB has use Oyibo as a launching ground. The security they are aware. Even though what has happened, the magnitude of what happened now has not happened before. But in terms of attacking the security personnel, IPOB has to do that. And that is why I laugh.
Was that part of the EndSARS movement?
Not.
Or they just capitalized on
No,
the news of that?
actually have been EndSARS movement. Now, anybody who knows me very well. I'll speak my mind any day, anytime. When they say I call the military, I don't know when I became the friend of the military. The country knows. If there's one man that's not liked by the military, it's me. Why? Because I will speak my mind against them. You know what the military did to us in this state as per election. So I didn't know when I became a friend now to order the military to go to Igbo to start killing people. You know, it's very funny. And that's what I said. Somebody is trying to sponsor propaganda against me that I'm killing the Igbos. And I laugh. Now you see, these are the same people who had pressed me one time or the other. That if there's one governor they believe, it's me. Today, the same people are now saying, oh, I sent out the military to kill. When did I become a friend? Right from the highest rank to me. I don't know who likes me. But that does not mean I'm lost to the truth. Right? Okay. What has that got to? Why would IPOB use a local government in my state to begin to launch attacks, not only on properties, on innocent Nigerians and the security? What happened? The state was very peaceful. You saw that there was no vandalism of any sort. Everything went well. Then IPOB wake up in a night, so they are doing EndSARS. Killed 6 army operatives. And what one? Killed 4 police officers. Destroyed all the police stations in Oyibo. Burned down all the courts.
Courts?
Yes, courts. Now, the issue is, what offense did we commit? That you go and burn the courts, you go and burn the police stations, you kill the 4 policemen, you kill the 6 people, and then, and you know that when you kill a security operative,
that's our limitation.
you know that, particularly the army, they will never let you go. People should understand that. I don't need to call the army. I don't need to. I have no that relationship, and I have no such power to call the army. I have no access. I have said this severally. Even when the former Joseph was here, he never saw me one day until the day he left. So who am I going to call? I have said that severally to people. Now, but what River State will not take, not only the IPOB end there, IPOB started to rename communities names what he feels or what they feel through their so-called criminals somewhere, I don't know. They say, American, how do you see me as a governor? Seated here as a governor. Somebody somewhere will be changing the names of communities in my own state. That's the next part of my matters. And he said, look, it will be well. That is not end. They have to go and put their flags like Boko Haram. Putting flag in part of northern Nigeria. And you say you are like that. The fact that the school, a Kokom, a school we built, IPOB will go and put the flag there.
IPOB flag?
Yes, IPOB flag. And you say,
was this before the EndSARS protest started?
Well, because of this now, when I started finding out. And so, you cannot see it as a sitting governor. A body that has been prescribed by law, by the court, which you have not set it aside, or have even appealed against it, and the federal government said, this body is a terrorist organization, and that's the governor, because of politics, I will sit down to say part of my people, territory annexed. That is not more of the governor. I won't allow that. So the issue of people saying, I sent soldiers to Igbo to kill Igbo people. It's barbarous. It's completely a non-issue. Because I have no relationship. I cannot command them. Have I even directed police one day? I have no influence over the police. I've shattered it several times. Even any policeman that works with me, the next day is transferred. So how would I now begin to direct the army that I cannot give you issue the instruction?
Perhaps one step we took at that time, at the heat of that moment, which probably may have led people to be making that insinuation, was the state workers' union.
Yes.
Let me remind you of some of the things you said in that state workers.
Yes.
And see, we'll then see whether those were the things that then fueled those speculations that you were the one that invited the military.
Okay.
Or the military had been actively on ground there because of the killings of their men before them. But that state broadcast by you re-proscribing IPOB.
Yeah.
That's what I'm alluding to. Let's take a clip from that.
We have welcomed and lived peacefully for ages. Their brothers and sisters with resort Islam and other parts of the country. We want to acknowledge and appreciate their abiding bond, love, and enormous contributions for non-indigenous to the political, social, and economic development of our states. However, we will never accept nor allow any individual or group from within our outside to violate our peace, endanger lives and property, and commit acts of barefaced terror and criminality against innocent citizens under any guise in our state. And so, let it be understood that we have nothing against or any specific tribe, and will continue to live in peace with people of all other tribal extraction residing or doing business in the states. But we have everything against the presence and activities of the legally prescribed and anarchic indigenous people of Biafra and whatever other group stands for in the states. This is clearly terrorist group whose existence, creed, mission, and activities are strongly denounced, even by the government and Central Eastern states of the country. And therefore signed the executive order to reinforce the total power and the activities in the states, or any part thereof, and nothing will stop us from enforcing this ban in its entirety. I have also directed security agencies and the chairman to government areas to officials and to government them with any member of IPOB found in our communities in terms of executive order and other legal instruments. We wish to commiserate once again with security agencies, particularly the police and the army, the family that lost their loved ones to the murderous hands of IPOB, and assure them that the state government will rebuild, destroy property, and assuage their pains. Furthermore, with the situation put under control and normalcy not being restored, I hereby lift the existing curfew on my 1, my 2, the Labuchi, Emenike, and Ito areas of Port Harcourt, as well as Bokroshi, in other local government areas of the states. However, the curfew in no equal movement area shall remain in force.
So, there you have it. So, there's a curfew for Igbo government.
Yes.
Would you say that that broadcast would probably be the basis for the fingers that are pointing in your direction? That you probably inadvertently invited the military.
What is the inadvertent? If I said
Once you start that
I said security agencies.
terrorist organization.
I said security agencies. I never said the military. security agencies are to make sure that this ban on IPOB is maintained. And they should not allow the activities of IPOB anywhere in any of the local governments. Like I told you, Oyibo is the boundary between us and Abia State. So it's very easy for them to use Oyibo, to penetrate Oyibo, and then to launch attack. I was saying that, look, what has happened is something that we should not take lightly. Now we must come at that openly, heavily, against this terrorist organization. I have no regrets about that, and I stand my point to say that even the Southeast governors never supported IPOB. Even the Southeast governors never supported IPOB. So if me, I'm not from the Southeast, I'm from the Niger Delta, so why would I support IPOB? On what basis? You see, people are not seeing IPOB as seeing is a mouthpiece of the Igbo people, which is not correct. Which is not correct. You cannot allow some gangs of criminals to give the people a bad name. You don't allow that. Who's IPOB? What do they represent? For Biafra. Who is the person? Some people now, I cannot change my identity. I can't change my identity for whatever it is. I can't. God knows why He said I must come from here. I did not choose where I will come from. It's God that said this is where I'm going to come from. Right? So, no sane government, no responsible government will sit back and see the kind of destruction for nothing. For nothing. Not that they are doing answer protest. You go and kill 6 army operatives, 4 police officers, and the quantum of destruction. Now, who's going to review this?
That's aside from the attack on the Hausa community.
That is a different thing coming up. Which today, I had a meeting with all the ethnic groups from outside. The Hausa, the Igbo, the Yoruba, the Igbo. I had a meeting with all of them. And I was telling the truth of the matter. Because River State is a peaceful state. River State is a place where everybody will want to come and stay. And don't give us that name that we're not accommodating. If you have any problem, you should be able to let the authorities know that is your problem. Now, the IPOB attack. Now, somehow, snowballing into attacking the Hausa community. Right. Now, you will need to think, because IPOB says they are Biafra, for example. It's not the entire Igbos that have this idea of IPOB. With all due respect, it's not true. Now, they shift this to go and attack another ethnic group, which may cause crisis in my state, or which has already caused crisis in my state. And then you say, I should not talk. Because as a politician, people will say, oh, you know, tomorrow you don't know whether you need your vote. What rubbish is this? What rubbish is this? What vote is that? That I put my hands to allow people to destroy other people simply because you may need their vote. What vote is that? For human life? No. I don't think that should be allowed. And I'm not going to allow that. Now, it came to a situation where the Igbos were not fighting with themselves. Even the Yoruba portion, and the oil mill magic. And that's why I had to put the coffee in that section. After the security council meeting. So look, that we need to put the coffee out so that nobody comes out. So nobody will ask, okay, we are going to kill this one or kill this one. And in any case, ask, what is the fight for? What are they fighting? Did they already land? For them to say, okay, we are dragging on land. You took my land, or they took my land. So we want to take our land back. So So I cannot sit as a governor and see people giving me problems. This is also ignoble today. Now, government has made commitment. In fact, today, government is going to give the families of those who are dead. Government will not give them their money as punishment. Now, such money would even have gone for other development. Now, government now, I made a mistake journey to have the toilets of the normal police station standard so we can rebuild them. That's going to cost us money. So why would I have somebody who will be giving me headache, making me to spend money unnecessarily, simply because you call yourself IPOB and therefore I must support you. These are the same people.
A visit to some of the
this is the families of the now look at that baby being carried by that woman. Look at that baby. Now the father is gone. The man who woke up in the morning to go to work. The man couldn't come back. Now people will be telling that young boy who's not up to a year old, look at him.
How his father was.
How his father was killed.
And
people, nobody cares about it. You don't talk about it, you're telling me that, oh, they're killing people, they're killing people. But look at them, look at that child. Look at the child today. Who will be telling that boy that your father was going to work? He didn't die, that a car knocked him down. Maybe he didn't look well. And people are just playing politics in everything. I will not, as a governor, accept it. It doesn't matter what anybody. I have told you here. There's nobody who has criticized the army more than me because of the way they played in my state. There's nobody who has criticized the police more than me. But that does not mean that you go and kill innocent people. That because they don't like me, I said it's good that you kill them. That's just unacceptable to me. You don't take life that way. People wouldn't do anything.
I still ask you if you are worried that accusing figures are being pointed in your direction,
yes,
that you have a hatred for the Igbos in the state.
Yes.
Are you also worried that this is taking a political dimension?
Yes.
That people may want to
yes,
capitalize on this criticism?
Look, as a politician,
take away from you a major ethnic bloc.
Because people know that it's not correct. But let me tell you how this works. These are politicians who are afraid of anybody. Let me tell you, you are aware. I traveled overseas. I came back. The next I had that I had brought the mosque down. Oh, that I hate the Hausa community. That I hate the Muslims. It took the chairman of the governor's forum, Dr. Khair Faimi, to come here. When there was not even a mosque, not to talk about bringing the mosque down. Not the politics I'm talking about. In fact, Senator Shikaro, who unfortunately was my minister, had the guts to make statement without even verifying. People like Governor Ganduje said he was taking us everywhere to court. At the end of the day, the Muslim community found out, came out to say, look, there was no mosque there. Not to talk about destroying the mosque. Who are these the politicians? No problem. That's what you must pay as a leader. These are things the moment you join politics, these are things you must see. So at the end of the day, the last one, there was nothing. Now if you now come again now, you're not about it, but let me tell you, with due respect, how would I help people? On what basis? There's no way. It's not possible. It's unthinkable. We have lived with people all our Western region. We have lived very well. We've done everything together. We have got Africa and the rest of it. The relationship in what? We have. So you cannot. It's not possible. There's no one person who will say in my own ethnic group, maybe the mother from here, from Igbo, or from so it is not possible. But if you say because I'm fighting a gang of criminals, and then you are doing that of fighting Igbo, okay, so be it. So be it. I will not fold my hands to allow criminals destroy my state. Because you say I love the Igbo. If those criminals, few criminals are Igbos, then they should know that I'm not allowed it. But the real Igbo, the Igbos know too well that they have, in fact, in this state, they voted for me very well. They supported me very well. So it is difficult. It's unthinkable. But I will not agree that people will form a group to destroy my state. Not only destroy my state, even annexing my state as part of what they are thinking of. I will not agree to that.
Or renaming.
I will not agree to that.
The local government itself was attempt was made to rename the local government.
That's the problem. That alone is the signal. You see, like I said, I know who is doing all this. I know who's brought all this, who have told them to rise, protest against Wike, that he hears people. Even if everybody knows that.
Why will you do that?
We know. I will not change.
Why will you do that?
Of course. Why will you not do that? You think that I'm rising politically so that they even need to bring me down. Everybody knows that. People know that. It's not hidden. I cannot change my identity. Yes, I may have a relationship with people. If a presidency is zoned to the southeast, I will support them very well. But that does not mean to say I'm from that area. No, I'm not from there. But I have a relationship with the west. Does not mean I'm from the west. If the president is zoned to the west, I will not go near them. It's like today. Because by our history, I said I'm trusting them to Benin. Now, does that make me to go to Benin to run to go to Edo to run for governor of Edo? Or if a position is zoned to Edo, I will not go there as well, because by my history, we are linked to you. Therefore, I should go and win an election. No, it's not true. Everybody is linked to somewhere. And if there's nobody, like you will say to the word, I started from heaven. Like you said, that you came down from heaven. People are lucky that you're traveling to God directly, according to you. So everybody is linked to somewhere. Your origin, your history, but that does not make me change as a Rivers man, as a Niger Delta man. Simply because Nigerians are saying, some people are saying, some people, not Nigeria, some people are saying, join the presidency to Saudi, for example. Then I will not say yes.
Wike sounds like an Igbo.
Yeah, Wike sounds like an Igbo. So I will not run because so to Saudi. That is something unthinkable for me.
All right, let me put you on hold for a while to have a breather. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back, and I'll be asking you beyond the curfew. Are there other things that also this morning we are addressing the fallout from the EndSARS protest with particular emphasis on the situation in Rivers State, which is why we have as our guest this morning His Excellency Chief Yusuf, the Executive Governor of Rivers State. Let's get back to the situation with the local government. We know you visited. You have visited the place since all of this started, and you particularly visited and condoled with families of the policemen that were killed by the IPOB members when all of this started. Let's take a clip from that visit to the families of the slain policemen. Okay, let's let this is the visit. Okay, you were talking about this particular family. Yes, for sure.
These are the families of those who lost the four police men. Now, you see, it's touching. I'm a family person. Now, it's like today, I woke up and I'm going to office. And then they said somebody has shot me. Who was it? I thought, why? Who had people? They said IPOB. Or one Muslim musician had killed me. And then I had a baby. My wife. Maybe it's not a baby of 6 months. Tell me, how do you feel? So there are people that can kill people and go free? I mean, so you are created to kill and go free? Like I said, look at these children. If their father had gone to fight war, or knew that there will be a fight or a war, and he died because of that, it's time for it. To protect, to defend life. Right? In this case, the man woke up in the morning, went to work, and defend our people, and somebody goes there to slaughter him, and then the government that those perpetrators should not be apprehended. Then when they apprehend them, you turn around to say, we are clean, some sort of ethnic group. I mean, what would anybody tell me that? I will not. And I say it, I will not. When anybody likes it or not, I have some threats, some people who have been calling me from overseas, that there are people that they will deal with. I said, listen, I'm not a Korean.
You made a promise to this family?
Yes, I made a promise to them, and the money will be given to them today by the Secretary to Government, to them today, and those in the army.
Okay, let's hear what you told them, at least for the purposes of those who are also insinuating that you hate the Igbos in Oyigbo local government. We are told that even that police officer happens to be an Igbo man and something like that. Was that Igbo man? So, okay, that's you. Let's hear it. Maybe there will be some. I told that there's no sound in that. But tell us what.
I'm aware that those policemen come from various ethnic groups. And you know what I can tell? One of them may be an Igbo man that was just killed. Because he was wearing uniform, he was killed.
I told that exactly he was a
fine. So, if that is the case,
killed by people who said
that they're Igbos. I don't those who don't like Igbo, they are criminals who want to destroy the Igbo land. These are criminals who want to destroy the Igbo land. You know the governors of the Southeast have even denounced them. So look, we can't allow you the way you're going. We will not be kind of operating our place. So if that is the case, why would I allow them to operate here, to destroy my state? Now the Secretary of Government has been told today to go and give the family the money. It's 200 million naira. For police, 20 million is 8. For the soldiers, 6 people.
Okay, so there are 4 policemen.
Yes, and
each family will get
20 million.
20 million.
Yes. Then for the army, each family gets 20 million. There are 6 months, 20 plus 8, 200 million. The state government, we don't want to say we are giving scholarship. Why do we have to say? I will not be here forever as a governor. I don't want the family to suffer to say, look, we are waiting for government to pay our scholarship. No. Because I know how government operates. Because if they are in office, it's very difficult for families to even reach the government. So it is better to give them this money Let them now think of what to do. Taking of the children, part of it, and helping the wives to start up something. You know, when you're a widow, you know how difficult it is. It's not easy for them. And look at that here. Not that there was any planning that look, my husband is likely to die now. So plans are made. Nobody. My husband like to sick. We don't think he can make it. Yeah. So you are planning. Healthy people woke up, kissed their children in the morning, and then went to work. Then the man has been killed. How will it be? How will you put yourself together? So for us, we think that we have very reasonable scientists in terms of intelligence, in terms of business. You cannot beat them.
This one
that's why they are
directly to the families,
yes.
Not through the police and the army authorities.
No. We are not paying to the authorities or the police or the army. Okay. We are giving the check and written in the names of their wives. But we presented in the police, the command before the CP, and also in the army before the DOC or the garrison command. But we are not paying to the account of the army or paying to the account of the police. The checks are written in the names of their wives. Or if you don't have a wife, I don't think all of them they have wives and children. So we are writing the names of their wives. That's very clear.
Let's look. We're talking about addressing the fallout of the mayhem in Olimura. Has the government quantified what it's going to cost to be able to rebuild the infrastructure?
That's what we are doing.
You talked about court buildings being raised down, police stations.
That's been worked out now. I don't believe, saying it's going to cost all this amount. I have told the police, let us have the typical police stations where they have the way that this has police stations are supposed to be built or improved also. I've told them that since they have got it, we have looked at it and those adjustment. I've gone back to it. I will bring it back today and then will cost for them.
So the state government will be
the state government will immediately replace those things. Now, what we're trying to say now, this organization has made us to spend money where we're not supposed to spend money. That money will be used for other purposes. So what do we do? That you're putting that putting that cost on our head. That's the point we are trying to make. So you have seen organized people speak out. You have seen the community of the Southeast speak out. Look at vehicles bought. Who will buy them? We are not going to wait for federal government. If I wait for federal government, then there will be a problem here. So I have to buy it. I have to give them vehicles in order to protect the land and property of rivers people. But we bought the vehicles. Now an organization has come to burn those vehicles, putting a huge cost on us. And people are not thinking of that. People are saying, okay, can I ask one question? Why would I kill the Igbos in Oyibo? Then I won't kill the Igbos in Port Harcourt. I won't kill the Igbos in other local government. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? But we cannot allow a gang of criminals to begin to speak for our people. Don't realize that. The moment you allow that, then the government is going to put a gun.
The curfew that is imposed on the local government is 24-hour curfew.
Yes.
Having been in place for days, don't you think it could also be causing hashing for some unintended victims?
Well, you see, when things happen, there are sacrifices you must make. It's not happening.
Because I saw a video clip of a woman yesterday who was saying that it's like living in hell. Yes. That even ordinary to go out to buy drugs. Yes. This particular one talked about her ailing mother that needed, I think it's, what is this thing that, inhaler?
Yes.
That her mother needed needed ones couldn't go out to buy.
Yes.
The children couldn't get food to eat. And all. So
See, okay, what about in terms of war? Where do you go to? You see, people only look at one side. My state party chairman from where you look at government. So why would I allow that kind of suffering to be there? If not for their own interest. I said, my state party chairman from where you look at government. So if there's any local government that will have an advantage, then the government is only local government. But the truth of the matter is that, look, this IPOB has used this local government and therefore have the need to now say, look, you must have to leave the area and don't cause crisis for the people of Oyibo.
Can you come in? They have to leave the area?
They have to. They cannot continue to operate in Oyibo. They can't. They can't.
That's as IPOB.
Yeah,
not that the Igbos have
No, Igbos have been there for long. And then why would you take the Igbos away? On what basis? Why would
the Igbos are supposed to be indigenous of the place? If they believe in them.
Look, there are some of the people who are born there. So why would you send them to? But if they are IPOB member, mind you, security is not look, when security was operating, they saw in some of the people's houses shrines. You see IPOB flag. You see now the kind picture. I mean, it's so terrible that if you continue to allow these boys to operate from there, before you know it, the state is gone. And not under my watch will I allow that. I will not allow that. Like I said, some of them are sending me texts. Mr. E from America, they will deal with me. I said, look, I'm not the weapon that you want to harass. I'm not making that you want to harass the state. I dare anybody, anybody who's an IPOB member that will see me, and you know, there are things people shouldn't talk about. Some of us, the matter of fact that we're government of America, we don't know how we are. You see, we are kind of because of the position that we occupy. I dare anybody. You cannot. I'm not that kind of governor. Nobody. You can't try that.
So you can move freely in Europe now without the fear of
no, but I will never even look back. There. What you have with me, I have. But how? On what basis? And nobody can intimidate me on that. Because even you are getting policemen, some of them are heroes. What did they do? Some people because they are wearing police uniform. You are getting some soldiers. Some of them are heroes. What did they do? Because they are wearing army uniform. And you hear any flag sending down. Don't kill every policeman you saw there. How can anybody say that? The policeman you have so no everyone should be a policeman again. As a policeman, is every time you feel a policeman, that you're an evil man. No everyone should be a soldier, as you say, soldier kill. And then you went beyond that to change names of our communities. You went beyond that and putting flag like Boko Haram will do. This is our territory. Under my watch, you allow me to sit down and shut my eyes? No, that is not going to happen. So you must know.
You are dealing with an organization that has already been proscribed by the federal government itself and labeled a terrorist organization. So it shouldn't be difficult for security agencies to flush out the vestiges of IPOB from that local government. What modalities are they going to be using that will also not lead to violations of people's rights?
We have called for Security Council meeting to review the activities and to see that
because if there are violations, you will probably bear the responsibility vicariously as a governor of the state.
No.
That's the reason why you also.
No. Like I said, why cannot be so? We had a Security Council meeting before, where we agreed to form neighborhood watch. Security Council meeting. What I mean? And to be trained by the army, by the police, and by SSS. And they have to profile all those that will be recruited. Who are those who stopped it? The military. So, why? That's why I said we politicize issue of security. They were going training in NYSC camp, which is the federal government agency, organization, not state school. If we tend to do anything as a criminal or hidden, we will go to the agency of federal government. No. But what happened? That's why I said this country, politics, since we politicize everything, we were heading to nowhere. Now, what has happened? The day they were being trained, the chief of army sent people. When I read them, I took them away. Why? That I was going to use them for politics. Meanwhile, other states have their own security outfit to support this neighborhood was just as part of intelligence to security agencies. But for Rivers State, the federal government took it that I was going to use it for politics. You see why we will suffer a lot in their hands. But in other states, they allowed it. They allowed it. So, when you look at some of this, somebody goes to tell them, don't allow that. They will use it for election. It's for political purposes. What political purpose? They don't win an election. It's part of all the military, security, whatever, against us. What do you know when we win the election? But, you know, like I was saying, government should, because protection of life and property is key. It's key. The moment you continue to politicize the issue of security, this is the way we will be suffering. Like I said before, when I came to 2015, kidnapping was very high. I've said this already. I cried. I was one state that within 2 years, I had 7 CPs. I had 7 CPs in 2 years. Why? They have, and before they post you, you have instruction. When they come, they see the data of man, they put all kind of instruction, they change you. They send this one, you come, they see what's on man, they change you. They send another person, like that. As one person, one person as one state that suffered the kind of marginalization, the kind of no state has ever suffered it. But that has never distracted me. I still believe one thing that when you have faith in God, that nothing can ever achieve. There are some states, the way the federal government came heavily on us, some states will collapse. Some states will collapse. The way they came heavily, I don't see any state that suffered the kind of election. No, there was a time that the whole National Assembly, State Assembly election, were all notified. Notified for nothing. Just for us to suffer. They brought down, they came heavily to rig the election, but it didn't work. They notified it again by the Court of Appeal. They notified it again. They told me what that was not done. But see, because I have handed over this thing to God, I said, look, I want to say, why the answer the Christians say, what do you mean by that? Not by faith. Not by faith. And I said, I've handed over to God. And that is why nothing they do that will work. Because I said, God, this is your state. Hand it over to you. Take charge. Take control. That's why when they come, with all their powers and this, it does not work.
All right, Your Excellency, we have just about 20 minutes or so for the program today. We have a couple of issues. Let's end quickly on this issue of oil. You said you have a meeting of security meeting today.
No, we have a meeting of all the non-indigenous, the Igbos, the Hausas, the Yorubas, everybody.
Okay. But what's your roadmap to lasting peace in that Because the coffee
No,
can be...
the government cannot be there forever. That's what I say.
And then there's somebody who has declared wanted any progress.
Yeah, that one has to do. I didn't say that he's a member of IPOB. I said he used IPOB to attack the primary ruler's house, and they burned down the hotel, and then they blocked. You know, One is a free zone. Business area, so it would affect. So I determined, and he's not in the police custody. Yeah. So no, he surrendered. I said. So he accepted us from 15 million.
Maybe to pay the 50 million to him.
No, I cannot be
Since he arrested himself.
No, somebody who organized the burning down of the primary ruler's house. I mean, it's like I said, okay, having burned down the house, what have you achieved? Has that corrected assuming any ill you perceive? That has not.
The Oyibo issue.
Oyibo issue is that the problem in the only problem
of
of course it cannot be there. I said we are going to ask something as to make it by tomorrow to review. But the only problem in Oyibo is the activities of the IPOB. Not Igbo people. No. Igbo people have been doing business and they continue to be able to do their business. But these IPOB people, who they now say, well, they are part of it, but we can't allow you to continue to destroy a place. And those people must rise to the occasion to say, look, you are destroying our local government. We can't allow you to continue to destroy our local government. The men say a grand boundary with Abia, which is easier for you to stay and do business there. Does not mean that you and this criminal organization will use our place, destroy our place, and to continue to fight other people who will not allow that. So everybody should know that what the government is doing is to do. Who are these members of this IPOB who are destroying the state? Should we continue to allow them? It doesn't matter what anybody posts on social media that they speak. It's in government. Yeah, the box stop in their temple. So every blame must come to you.
Means government is not a popularity contest.
Government is see.
What I mean is that if you are in government, don't hope to be popular.
The same people, we are then not the same people. We are still posting Wike is the best governor. No, Wike is the wicked governor. No, that's not. You should expect that. Because you take a decision they don't like. And you will not take a decision that everybody must like. But it's for the interest of the people. Our people said, we can't, the way this IPOB is coming. Before we know it, we are finished in the university. Therefore, stop it. It's not Senator Abadibe who stood as a shorty for the bail of Nanikan. Where's Nanikan? Has he not put Senator Abadibe into a problem running around from one country to the other? So it's the kind of character that anybody will want to. Look at the whole disabled Senator Abadibe. Very talented young man. Now run around from one country to the other. Because of who? Thinking that the so-called Nanikan who said he is the leader of IPOB have anything to offer.
Okay. Let's end on the SARS protest. Are you satisfied with the way the whole thing has ended? What about the larger picture, the larger problem of police reform? Isn't there a way that governors should be clamoring for a reform of the Nigerian police?
When they say governors, I will not tell you what they say, clamoring. When they clamor about what? Who will listen to you?
So that at least governors can have.
We have said so several. I will not say so several, even have state police. Did it work? People will come out with, oh, you know, if you allow the government to control the police, they can all say, oh, that they will use for everything for us is politics. We say we are operating a federal system. We are operating a unity system. The country that operates the real federal system, councils have their own police. The state has their own police. And the federal has their own police. There are certain crimes that the federal takes over. There are certain crimes that are being handled by the state. And there are certain crimes that are being handled by the local police. Now, the same thing you are talking about in the courts. It's okay, government, okay. What about the courts? What about the courts? If a judge misbehaves The NJC disciplines the judge, which is federal. So assuming it can create a structure that will have that semblance in terms of discipline when you go beyond this and that. Yes. So this idea is being overflowed. Now that what has happened, every Nigerian has been look, assuming there is state police, or this has happened to this extent. Intelligence is also important. You know what surprised me in this strike, in this protest, was that the security system or security agencies could not pick up intelligence. Or if they did, what did they do with it? So,
massive
and the kind of one-time destruction that we had. Again, it has taught government a lesson that enough is enough. People, the agitation of people is going to the point that tomorrow they can roll out the tanks. It will not work. So the sanity the government must do, not just making police reform. That's all. You can make police reform, yes. But when there's kind of unemployment, so trying to reform the police, good. But that alone cannot stop the agitation of people. There's nothing that can create crisis in any government, like unemployment. That's one thing that can crumble a government is the rate and level of unemployment.
And that's the burden on all governments.
Of course, on what side of government?
At the national and the subnational level.
Again, even at the subnational level, the economy of the country, the way we run our economy, every state or every subnational is dependent on national economy. It is not like in other countries like Latin America. You say California is one of the biggest economies. They can decide what will happen in their own economy. Here you cannot do. An investor, take for example, a state like mine, and bring an investor who go and invest. The federal government will look at River State. The government there is not our mind. So they will not give the investor any clearance to come in. I have suffered that separately. So, but again, like I said, that's what I said. Most we are criticizing everything, nothing will ever move. And that's why we are. Even those who are in their own good books, doesn't work. It doesn't work.
All right, let's take a quick break. It's going to be a very short one because we are running out of more together.
For 5 minutes.
In my notes here, but let's just quickly run through some of them. Let's go back to how the federal government tried to deal with the NSAS movement. I know that as part of dousing detention, the president directed all his ministers to go back to their respective states, hold meetings with their governors, and hold meetings with their stakeholders with a view to for each state to develop a template for attending to the issues that the NSAS process has thrown up. Beyond setting up the Judicial Commission of Inquiry in Rivers, has this also happened?
Well, it's unfortunate, like I said, with the only state I've seen in the South that the minister went to the governors and the governor, and also saw went right and saw the level of instruction in those states. I have not seen my own minister. Never have they called me to say what's the level and what I said, level of politics. So everything is just politics. So it's unfortunate, and I don't know, maybe they will write up something and present to Mr. President. That is what happens. I hear it from us who are here. So that's what it is. I've not had one of the IPOB that instead of going to see the governor to ascertain the number of things I've not had that. I've also not had one of the doctor that instead of going to see the governor to ascertain. I've not had. Those who came to me, the caucus of National Assembly for the last week who came to me to say, well, 2 weeks, what you've done, well, support and prescription of the ban of IPOB, and that they will support any group that will come to destroy River State or try to advance the state. So that is what I know as far as this is the concern. So the whole case I was not saying, maybe you will come at the end of the year or next year, or so on and so on.
So how will the state make representation to the federal government?
But probably, I don't know how they work with the system. I'm not part of the system, I'm not part of the government. We would also try to write what after the vote, we write the federal government what we found out, where they will take it, where they will not take it. You know, when it concerns River State, it's a different ballgame, but we will not, like I said, the man felt that you don't have a mother, don't have a father. Does not mean that you should die. You must have to work to survive. So what we are doing here is to make sure that, yes, we will not be liked, but we must move on. It's our duty to make sure that River State is one of those states that doing very well. By the grace of God, we're nothing to regret about it. We're very happy.
Are you ready to put all the bill on by yourself? Because the essence of this is also maybe for the federal government to also assist those states in rebuilding where it is necessary.
Well, I you know, I've told you, River State, it's a peculiar state. I don't know why. Yeah, in the sense that I don't think the federal government has brought out to pay attention to us. Whatever we can do, we'll do. Whatever we can do, we'll do. We have nothing to worry about. If you have God, you know, you're okay. You're okay. So let us see the cost, and we'll try and see what we can do, what we cannot do. So we've done the best we can, and then we do the rest. We do what we want to see. But I don't believe that they will listen to us because everything in Nigeria, particularly this government, is being criticized. Everything is being criticized, which is very bad. It's being criticized.
Okay. In the midst of all of these EndSARS protests and before that of it, the news came last week, Mr. President reappointing Professor Mahmoud Yakubu as INEC National Chair. I remember that our last interview, it was an INEC National Commissioner nominee that was in the news then, and you spoke seriously against it. What's your position on the renomination of Professor Mahmoud?
Well, you see that my party has come out to make a statement assembly, and that for him to use the opportunity to make an improvement, so I cannot deviate from the position of my party. So, you see, whatever my party says is our own position. He should use this to improve. And one thing I must say to him is to find out how do politicians print their electoral material with the same code number. Yes, so the someone should, as a task for him in solving these problems, how do politicians print electoral results that have the same result sheet number with INEC? Does it mean there are somebody in INEC who is colluding with politicians from their operations in printing these results that have the same number? You can print our results, but it will not be the same number. So there's something going on there. So I think that the chairman who has to be appointed by Mr. President, and which I believe will be confirmed by the Senate, but should look into this. Two, he should also try with the support of the National Assembly, to make sure that an amendment of the Electoral Act that brothers should assent to, that will improve the electoral process. Mahmoud is not a card-carrying member of any political party. You can accuse him where he's been appointed by Mr. President, the likelihood as a human being may have a soft spot. That is not the ground for disqualification. Unlike the other nominee, who is an aide to Mr. President and who is a card-carrying member of a political party. Look, that some people, I saw from former political secretary of APC who I think it's unfortunate because in Nigeria, whatever was it. Some of these people I don't like to remember their names, but they say that Mahmoud was an aide to Jordan. It's not correct. That the head of an agency is not an aide to the president of the country. Aides are like and your student assistant and your chief of staff. These are aides. Yeah, minister. But to say someone who is the secretary of an agency, right? Of an agency is not an aide to the president.
Yes, I just have to come to them. We need to go. I'm told that one of the iconic flyover bridges is ready to be commissioned this week. Maybe when we have our next chat, we'll be able to do a review of that, because that probably would have come along. But for now, let's just sit there because we have to join live now the second Africa Economic Conference, which is bringing together over 30 African leaders. It's an AIT initiative, bodyline with that, AIT's flagship business and economy program is hosted that program. It's the second edition of the African Economic Conference. We'll go straight to join proceedings together, like I said, it's bringing together.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.